like shocked, but like, really? You don't have to get me anything for my birthday now, do you?
Who said that? Wait, what?
Man.
The old man.
What old man?
I'll tell you later.
Okay, ready? Alright. Caviar maintains the title of one of the most expensive seafoods in the world. But did you know, only 20 years ago, caviar was being used as fishing bait? Caviar! Expensive! Fishing bait. Yeah. Anyways, caviar is one of the most expensive seafoods because nowadays it is rare. Bait, rare. Anyway, why is it rare? Outfishing. What is outfishing? Outfishing has a couple different definitions. Catching too many fish for the system to support leads to an overall degradation to the system. Overfishing is a non-sustainable use of the resources. B, the practice of commercial and non-commercial fishing was depletes of fishing by catching so many adult fish that not enough remain to breed and replenish the sources. Catching too many fish, fishing so much that the fish cannot sustain their population. The fish get fewer until there are none left. Fishing with a sufficiently high intensity to reduce the breeding stock levels to such an extent that they will no longer support a sufficient quantity of fish. We are losing species as well as the marine ecosystem. As a result, the overall ecological unity of our oceans are under stress and at risk of collapse. We are in risk of losing a valuable food source that people use for social, ecological, and dietary needs. This is a quote said by Dr. Daniel Pauly. The big fish, the billfish, the groupers. The big things will be gone. It is happening now. If things go unchecked, we'll have a sea full of little horrible things that nobody wants to eat. We might end up with a marine junkyard dominated with plankton. Plankton!
Plankton.
Like $100 a can.
Exactly. One of the reasons that the seas are being overfished is not because we're consuming too much seafood. It's because of the different ways that we are fishing for the fish. One of these ways is bycatch and discarding. Over a quarter of the fish caught in the ocean are eventually thrown back because they are not the right type of fish, they are too small, or they're not the right type of fish. These fish, once they are discarded, most of them do not continue to live. They just die as soon as they are discarded. Bycatch removes fish that would be better left in the sea as part of the ecosystem and to help the fish maintain their fish population so that they are not overfished. The examples of bycatching and discarding. A recent research from Alaska, for instance, suggests that the Bering Sea and king crab discards amounted to about 16 million animals in 1990, more than 5 times the number actually needed for market. It is unknown how many of these discarded crabs survive after they are thrown back. Almost 350 million kilograms of fish were caught and then thrown back by Alaskan fishing boats because they weren't the kind of fish or the size that the boats were trying to catch. Alaskan pollock fisheries discard half of their catch. In the North Sea, about half of the haddock and whiting caught are discarded each year. 80 million cod were discarded for being too small. Another example of overfishing is bottom trawling. It is when they take these huge nets with metal plates and wheels and run them along the very bottom of the deep ocean. Mm-hmm. And while they do that, they end up bringing up tons of different kinds of fish and the marine ecosystems that these fish live in. Right. So when they throw back whatever they don't need, these fish are suddenly left without homes. They are homeless, and then they die, and the population and ecosystem of the area is completely ruined. All evidence indicates that deep water organisms are slow to reproduce, which means after we harvest them, there is no chance that their populations are going to grow back. Outfishing is depleting the ocean. Scientists say that within the next 20 years, we will be left with nothing but plankton and kelp. Caviar is good now. What's next? Jellyfish sandwiches? It is time for the world to change the way it catches fish. It's not that we're eating too much seafood. It is the way we are catching the fish. If we change how we do it, then we can fix the populations of the ocean and fix what's going on there. Remember how many different fish species were killed simply so you could have a single fish.